Hey, Travis, just your thoughts on the challenge that the Maple Leafs present tonight and what you guys have to be ready for.
I think the first thing you think about with their team is their skill level. Obviously at the top end, but you look throughout their lineup, they've got a lot of skill throughout their lineup, a lot of good skaters. Their back end, same thing. They got skill and speed, and we're going to have to be ready to play a fast game and a committed game, and not just offensively, but defensively as well.
And what can you tell us about your lineup for tonight?
Demko is back in the net tonight. Jake is in. Mac is out.
Next up is Jeff Patterson.
Travis, further to the Leafs' skill, I mean, what do you think as you prepare for a team that's got a power play right now in the early going, but that's running over 40%?
I mean, I think that says a lot about their skill. Obviously, we're going to have to be disciplined while we're trying to eliminate their skill and stay out of the box. And our penalty killers are going to have to do a good job. It's a potent power play, and it's not just one unit. They've got two really good units. And when you have two units like that, obviously the skill level and the depth of your team is obvious.
What about your penalty kill? It was an issue early on. Do you feel like it has sort of stabilized?
Knock on wood. I think there's a lot of things in a team's game that maybe aren't as sharp as you need it to be early in the season. Our penalty killing, publicly probably took a beating, and give them credit. They've clawed their way back and seem to have solidified it.
Next up is Ben Kuzma.
Hey, Travis. Obviously, practice time is at a premium, and in a perfect world, you'd probably like to get on the ice as much as you can. But with all the back-to-backs and everything that comes with it, how much can you teach, Travis, your younger players through video? A lot of that key instruction usually comes on the ice through repetitive drills. How much can you get through to them on video?
Well, it's a combination. I think we've always been big believers in showing a lot of video, especially at this time of year. And especially individual video with young players. It's vital, especially like you said, without the power play time or the practice time, it's hard to mimic certain things that happen in a game, and they've got to see it as well. And we've been doing a lot of video with our group this year. And it's a fine line between showing them too much to keep them mentally focused and also talking about the other team and what they do.
How does that apply to a player like Quinn, who seems to have, as you like to say, his motor runs hot all the time, and he does things out there that boggle the imagination? How willing a student is he when it comes to video?
He is. I think the stuff with Quinn that we talk about or show him probably more has to do with the defensive side of the game. Mm-hmm. Being a young player and a young defenseman, relatively young defenseman in the league. Also with his size, those are little things that I think over time he's going to get better at. We've talked to him not a lot, but a fair amount. And when we do, we still, I think with smart players, they figured a lot of things out in time. But I think the defensive side of the game, you can teach and learn little nuances and that'll help you. Probably more so than the offensive side of the game with a player like Quinn.
Thanks, Travis.
Next up is Patrick Johnson.
Hey, Travis, just on bringing Jake back in, obviously Monday night was a difficult game for your team, but he seemed to play pretty well. Is that basically what you're looking for, another performance like you got from him on Monday tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and just say that he's got to play exactly like he did his last game in. I think for Jake, it was about just pulled him out of the lineup. I wasn't excited about his game at the start of the season. He's back in tonight. I just want to see a lot of energy in his game. When he's playing well, you notice his speed. When he's playing well, you notice him around the puck. He's heavier on the puck. And, he's got to have an element of physicality in his game as well that comes with that speed. So, those are the things that we're looking from him. And I think he's ready to go.
You guys have 6 days, I think, here in Toronto. Given the reality, guys are basically supposed to stay in their rooms. They're not supposed to get up too much. What are you guys trying to do to sort of help them manage through all this downtime, essentially?
I don't think it's as hard as you'd imagine right now. We've played a lot of games. I think rest is good for our team right now. Maybe in a few days, we might have a couple, maybe some team tournaments or something like that. But you'd be amazed at how the guys welcome a couple days of just resting. It's been, no secret that we've played a lot of games compared to a lot of teams, and you got to take the rest when you can have it.
Thanks.
And with the final question is Michael Tracos.
Hey, Travis, just in regards to Quinn Hughes and the defensive side of his game, I remember the late Bob Murray saying that with Erik Karlsson, they showed him women's hockey highlights in terms of how to defend without using your body, more about positioning and using your stick. Right. Is there something similar in regards to Quinn? Obviously, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but as he develops, where he's going to have to figure out new ways on how to defend against some of the bigger guys, or how do you approach it that way?
Well, I think if you got to be careful in how you teach, there's a team structure, there's team principles that you use when you defend. And obviously a guy like Alex Edler is going to defend a lot different than a guy like Quinn Hughes. And part of it is showing him. Part of it is just him learning in the league and getting better at it, quite frankly, and also being committed to it. I think the great players understand areas that they excel in, and they continue to work on those areas, but they also understand areas that maybe they're not as good in or not as dominant in. And I think that's one thing about our young guys is we've always been able to be honest with them about everything, good and bad. And he's a guy that wants to be a good player in all areas of the game. And I think it's just something that you're steadily going to see him improve in. I remember Sidney Crosby coming into the league and not being very good on faceoffs his first year, and you knew the next year when you played against him, this guy was taking it to heart, and he was a lot better, and now he's really good at it.